Hello and welcome to the VR Chat Squad podcast, episode number 1. We got your very special host, Julie Hooks, Unusual, Grandpa, Kayomi, and yours truly, Extended Reality. And today we're talking about VR.
All right, so first question we got here is it worth buying right now during the Kermit the Kermit during the
Yeah,
current,
quarantine. Yeah,
during quarantine? Yes.
yeah.
Is
We
it-
can't
is it
say
worth
the other
buying a
word
VR
because YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, so
Sesame
the
Street.
first question we got today is: it worth buying a headset during quarantine? Questions. If so, what headset would you buy?
Oh well, that's a pretty easy question. I think yes, because the just being inside all day is kind of fucking boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in VR, you're really able to escape reality without even leaving your room.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's exactly
Yeah.
what people need to have. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
since we would all agree on getting a headset, what headset would you buy for if you were stuck in quarantine for a while? What headset would you go for?
I can say that, especially during these times where it's hard to acquire something because of this pandemic, I would really have to go for Oculus because of how easy it is to grab.
Yeah,
And I only say that not
Yeah.
because I'm a CV1 user, but it's definitely the most simple.
yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
Not any pressure on Index or Vive, but they're slightly more complex.
Well, yeah,
And if
because
you're a first-time user,
Yeah.
then it could.
well,
mess you
usually
up.
because even though the complexity, Oculus, you usually always start. Most people usually start with Oculus because it's the cheapest one, unless you go
Right.
full
Yeah,
send
yeah.
to Index, which
Fuck.
Right.
I'm sorry, he keeps up bumping
Right.
into the wall.
We're just saying, still get Oculus, even though the left sticks are a bit of sensitive.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the biggest thing for Oculus that Oculus has going for it is, of course, the availability. I mean, you can walk into any Best Buy and probably find an Oculus. They sell them at Walmart.
Mhm.
They're readily available for consumers, whereas Vive and Valve Index, you have to order online unless you get the Vive from GameStop. But
Or
right now,
the new Vive stores that they're putting out.
yeah,
which-
or
Or,
Microsoft Store or
Micro
whatever.
Center.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, the availability of Oculus right now is really going to push it towards
Well, now that you
a
have,
fully consumer VR headset.
yeah, but
aren't they having shortages right now? I thought they were sold out
Yeah.
on most of the products.
Yeah.
they're on back
Yeah.
order a little bit.
Yeah,
now.
there are a lot of actually all headsets pretty much are
Yeah.
on back order just because of you had the Christmas season, and then all of a sudden you had the quarantine, and they're not able to produce them.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like
Yeah.
like the Valve Index and the Vive Pro, they don't make them in mass amounts
Yeah.
like the Oculus Rift or Quest. They don't
Yeah.
because they're more expensive and less people are gonna buy them due to the price.
Yeah.
So
Well, right now there's an 8-week wait period for the Valve Index.
it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
long.
have to
It's
wait.
actually longer
Yeah.
than that. Actually, it's
Yeah,
been
Chili was trying to get an Index. He ordered it a couple months ago, and it's
Yeah,
still they still
Wow.
haven't shipped.
yeah.
Because right now they say
Yeah.
8 weeks, and then I'm sure after 8 weeks they'll still not be
Yeah.
available. You know. So,
Because
Right.
again, they can't get the materials because there's always one problem around it. Like you can't get workers or something, so those headsets are
Sure.
on back order.
And
That's-
I was
yeah.
about to bring up the Quest because, especially during this time, getting a very hardcore setup is
Mhm.
extremely difficult. Except if
Yeah.
you're going for if you're used to this kind of stuff. But if you're a first-time VR user, then that's going to get really tough. I can definitely see Quest being a first to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I tried explaining before, simplicity isn't a bad thing to Oculus. It's still it's great. I like
Except those
Oculus, and,
menus.
Well, I guess,
well,
well, I
they
guess
had
if
some
we're-
errors.
More biased, but
But
it's great.
I guess if we're talking about what drives the market, a big thing that drives the market is YouTube and the people that play VR on YouTube. So the Quest is a good headset if you want to play the games that they're playing on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
So
Exactly.
like Pavlov, you can play that on.
No, you
the
cannot.
Quest. You can play.
You cannot. Not yet.
can.
Not currently,
You
no,
can.
but in the future,
Well,
you'll
demo.
be able
You
to-
can.
version.
You can if you plug it into your desktop and have.
You're able
like,
to make it
the
work
Yeah.
remote.
Yeah,
It's
but why?
possible.
But if you had that type of computer, I don't think you would probably
If you
get
had
a
that kind of
Quest.
computer, what would be the point of getting?
I guess the point. Yeah, well, I guess the point is it's possible. It's just
It's
It's
possible.
but I guess the bigger one would be, of course, VR chat.
right.
You know, VR
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
is
VR
readily
chat would be a
available on
good one.
every headset.
Like,
You know.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I've heard a
also
rumor.
big screen and other
I've,
apps
I've
like
heard a
that.
rumor. I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard from I forgot what gaming website. The PlayStation might bring VR chat into PlayStation 5 and they
Oh, really?
yeah
And their PSVR.
Really?
yeah and their
Oh,
new
yeah.
Do that.
That
so
would definitely help with
Aren't they
sales of
releasing a new
PSVR.
PSVR
I
as
can
well?
tell you that.
Right.
because
Yeah.
90% of well not 90 but a lot of percent of people have tried VR chat at least once.
Yeah, and I would say like we can all agree on this. The worst headset on the market right now currently would be the Oculus Go, correct? We can all
Well,
say
Well,
that.
no, Go
Well,
is not
for its
technically.
intended use- For its intended use, it is.
For its intended
fairly
use,
good.
it's a VR
Its
headset.
use
I
is
mean, it
meant
doesn't-
for
Technically,
something.
it's kind of
It's very
considered an
good.
AR headset because it does not have VR things
No,
the
to
only
it.
reason why
it's
I'm gonna
definitely
say
a VR
It's
headset.
definitely a
VR
VR
Alright.
headset.
It's only meant for media consumption.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna go play a game on that unless you're playing like Tetris or some stupid thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
But
that's
the-
going to be your throwaway consumer.
Like what happened on Christmas was people were saying, "Oh, look, a cheap headset. They sold out the Oculus Go,
Mhm.
then fucking realized that is not a VR headset."
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that was a big problem. That got a lot of people disinterested in VR. Was they all bought the Go thinking that was like, oh, it's cheap, it must be good. Oculus, big company owned by Facebook. When
Yeah.
they bought it looking for games, when really they're only watching YouTube VR and that thing. They're not getting any farther
But
than that.
like the Cosmos also was a pretty bad headset.
Oh god, that was a disaster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was-
Yeah, I'll agree.
You would think
They're tracking
Vive
their
after
servers.
getting the Vive, you would think they would probably make it better, but no, they just freaking nosedive to the ground.
Yeah,
They-
the Index is
they
what
tried.
the Cosmos should have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried with inside out tracking, according to all of the people I know who've had at Cosmos. Horseshit tracking.
yeah.
I
think
think
they-
you can't move your arms in certain ways. If I put my arm back here,
Mhm.
it's not getting tracked. It's gonna go fly around the room.
Yeah.
Their controllers, I heard that they really tried to copy Oculus on their controllers.
Yeah, they really did.
And here's to my second point. Oculus controllers, I think they're a little too small, just a little bit, just a little. After
Mm.
using 3 different headsets, I think the Oculus controllers are a little small.
I can't speak for the regular Rift, but the Rift S controllers, I think they're small to make it so you feel like there's not really a controller there. It just
Yeah.
feels like it's very light,
Yeah,
very small. Just fits in your hand perfectly. Your fingers are in the right spots at all times.
yeah. I don't know.
I think they made it small intentionally, as
I mean-
to fit in the hand, but not really feel like you don't notice it that much.
I mean, for Vive, they didn't even try to call it a controller. They're just like, here's a couple wands.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
Harry Potter.
like these.
I had the Vive for a full 2 months. It just felt like I was holding 2 corn dog sticks. Like, hey,
Yeah.
How do you think how I feel when I'm just holding
like,
you?
I can't do that at all.
Struggle.
No.
Oculus, like,
No, it
I'm
really
telling
is,
you,
right?
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
one day, Oculus is gonna make the perfect headset. If they're able to have it be
Yeah,
like something
Mm.
like good controllers, original controllers, good inside-out tracking, and full body on top of that, if they're able to make it
Yeah.
happen, that's a top seller for sure. I call it.
Yeah.
I no
And
doubt
that's
about
why
it.
I'm thinking about the new headset coming out, the Revive, I think it's called, or something like that. The new the new Microsoft headset.
Oh, well, and Microsoft's pretty much out of the market. The HoloLens was their attempt to merge AR with
No, yeah, but this
VR,
one they've been
and it
working
was-
with Steam on with Valve to make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to pump the brakes, but my game just crashed.
Oh my fucking
Uh,
god!
You're still here.
Yeah, I can't. If I move my head, I'm looking in the same direction. I'm looking at the pop filter and Julie's face glitching out right now. and I can
Alright.
see Kai. So I'm
Get
gonna
back in here.
I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
If
I
you
guess
want.
I guess we can continue the discussion as they're in like
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can.
Yeah.
You can.
shoving corn dogs up their anuses. Okay. Yeah, but
What?
I mean I have hope in a Microsoft headset, but like to my knowledge, they really haven't attempted any like competition on the table.
No, but-
Because when PSVR made their move, that was pretty big on market. But it's like Microsoft has been kind of just silent for the whole like VR community.
I'm
side
not
of
sure.
things.
I think
Yeah.
it was it was Microsoft. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna check.
Yeah.
It's literally
No
on
problem.
Steam.
Yeah.
I just sent
Yeah.
invite, please.
And here's the
So-
thing, Valve actually took quite a time just to bring out the Index,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which when it first came out, it had a lot of bugs with the controller sticks not wanting to work right.
Well, and with the Index, it was really weird because I almost expected the Index to be the Cosmos because Vive kept on talking about getting knuckle controllers.
All right,
and then
here
all
you
of
go.
a sudden, the
Yeah, they did.
the
they
Valve
did.
Index came
Yeah.
in and they got knuckle controllers there, and I was like, okay, this must be made by HTC. But then I was like, okay, it's Steam.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, it was them combining together to work and stuff.
Sweet.
So I found the name. It's called the HP Reverb G2, and it's by
Oh.
HP, Microsoft, and Steam VR. So it's
Oh, okay.
so and it's pretty much a cheaper headset trying to compete with the Index.
Yeah.
It is good. The specs that I've seen, it looks decent. The refresh rate I don't know, but I think what I've
Yeah.
seen was it can compete against the
Well,
Index.
yeah. I mean, HP. Whenever you throw HP's name in there, unfortunately, they're a consumer company.
Mhm.
You know, like Steam.
Yeah.
Steam is not really a. I consider Steam more of a company for the gamers. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. For the gamers,
Yeah.
not an actual consumer company. But like whenever you put HP in there, the first thing that comes to mind with me is working at Best Buy and cranking up a HP laptop and the hinge is breaking because they're made out of plastic.
All right.
Mhm.
Here's
Can somebody accept my
Yeah,
request,
I'll-
please,
I'll
'cause I need
accept
to
it.
join the damn game.
Yeah.
So
so
Getting good
twice.
stuff
Here
here,
for a
you're
couple
not
minutes
even
just
here.
in my damn lobby.
okay. So this is a problem I have with the Rift S. It is
What's
not. It's technically not really a. It really isn't a Oculus headset. Yes, they put some stuff in it, but it really just has the Lenovo tag on it. It's a Lenovo headset. Cause have you seen
Yeah.
any updates with Oculus trying to upgrade? No, you didn't.
Yeah, but everyone uses everyone's hardware. I mean, the fact that like in the HTC Vive,
No, I know, but
the
what I'm
screens in here are Samsung.
Well,
you
no,
know?
I understand that, but I mean, Lenovo made the headset, not Oculus. So why they have audio problems, why they have, like the hardware defect, is because
Yeah.
Oculus isn't really trying to fix them because they don't technically own the headset, like the inner thing of it. They don't technically work with that. They just sell out the product because it's technically Lenovo's.
I think
No. I
Yeah.
think Lenovo was just a partnering factor for the headset. They it wasn't all their parts. That was
Exactly,
they were just
but-
a factor.
But the
They were just
main producers were Lenovo with this. 90%
I know
of
that
not 90,
I know
but
that the actual chipset and everything is Lenovo.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
that does
hardware.
make sense.
That's hardware. That could be microphone. The
Yeah.
problems are from Lenovo, not from Oculus. Well, mostly, like, back to the original question because we kind of got sidetracked. Are you gonna buy a headset? Yes, you should definitely buy a headset if
Yep.
you are in the market to buy one. The best choice is probably the Oculus Quest due to not needing a computer to run it. It's a good.
Depends on what you're trying to do, though.
Well,
If
no,
you're trying to
It
gain,
does
We're-
depend on the situation.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
we're technically doing for the people who do not have a computer that is powerful enough to buy a Rift S. That's where I was gonna go for my.
Yeah, cost-wise, I would say the Oculus Quest is a valid choice. It definitely.
I
is.
was. That's where I was gonna
The
go.
Rift S is the same price. Well, if you're going for just media consumption, go with the Go because it's the same. Go with the Go. It's the same quality as the Quest, but $100 and something cheaper. If you're just going for media, get a Go. It just
Yeah.
depends on your
Stream-
situation. You
My
can.
fucking
Right.
God.
If you're looking to game though,
I'm sorry.
probably Rift S.
No, I mean he's right.
He's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
You
Like,
don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
the quiet.
I will say
success.
this though, and not a lot of people know, but if you are a person that actually has a setup powerful enough for VR and you're just wondering which headset to go with, believe it or not, I'm gonna tell you right now, and you may not believe me, but it's true. CV1 still exist.
Yeah.
They are still being made.
Yeah.
yeah,
You can
they're
buy
much
a
cheaper.
refurbished CV1 on the Oculus website for $200.
Yeah,
It is worth your time,
very,
100%.
Oh,
I use
another-
a CV1.
Okay, another thing. Oh,
Hmm.
something that I recommend is if you're gonna buy a CV1, buy a third sensor. For the love of God, it's gonna make your life
Oh, I
so
I
much.
recommend it.
Yeah.
I run three
So
sensors
much-
too.
Like,
yeah, there
'cause-
are many pros to the CV1.
Yeah.
You can pair so many more things. It's more
Right.
open source than all the other
Yeah.
out there.
So
But-
if you're comparing pros and cons to the CV1 and the Rift S, sorry, but statistically, I would say
CV1.
that CV1 wins.
yeah.
Because
CV1
Rift
will
S
win that.
has a bunch of problems and issues that I've
Yeah.
heard.
And
on
they
top of
don't
it,
get
it can't
fixed.
Run,
And
and
they
it can't
do
run
not
on
get-
laptop.
Yeah.
I mean, even the dev kit for the Oculus when it first came out is better than the new
Right.
one.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's
come
just,
on.
They did not think.
But
this
if you're
through when making
if
Rift
you
S.
are going for the top of the line VR headset, like you top of the line, I recommend getting the Valve Index with the knuckles. Well, it comes with them, or a Vive Pro or Pro I with the knuckles. Those
Yeah.
That is it is a hefty price, but
it's
if
a
you're
hefty price of like I think
$1,200 or something.
like
Right.
12,000
To get
to
that.
1,500 for the headset and everything, and then you have to buy like another $1,000 for a computer that could run it at low specs. Maybe 1,300, 1,500 for a medium or recommended for that. But for the low price, if you have a PC, CV1, and if you have no PC, a Rift, a Quest, or if you want it for entertainment, a Go.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
alright.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I would
So
even
really,
say,
your
like,
options are 200, 400, 1200. Take
Yeah.
your pick. But I mean,
Yeah.
I would even
Yeah.
say.
200,
Yeah.
400,
say-
1200 is kind of the game. You've knocked
I would
out a
even
lot of
say
it.
pick
Yeah.
yourself up an unopened Vive, just a regular Vive, and then
Yeah.
go and get the Knuckles controllers.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
probably the ultimate like
Yeah.
save money and be able to get on here with a good setup.
body, because
Yeah.
a lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
are talking about that.
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
I was literally.
And so we only have one full body user here today. So like,
Hello.
I'm gonna
Woo!
know it too. Yeah, yeah. I'm a half a
But-
body user.
I can say right now, I got a lot of issues with it. I'm not a user myself, but like, I just think that when setting it up on certain platforms, it's kind of stupid. And I'm gonna say it like, there's just a lot of controversy. It would just seem like for Oculus users, there's a lot more of a bargain to go through with buying 2 more sensors.
Mhm.
But Vive or
Yeah.
Index, you're like kind of ready to go.
If you have a CV1, it's not worth getting full body. Unless you're gonna
No.
use an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One sensor,
Yeah.
spend $15. Yeah,
You
Connect.
can use Kinect.
Wait. And spend $50 on the software to run it. It will run
The
mediocre.
software that in the past we actually used to use the Xbox One Connect,
Yeah,
and it was like for the software it was like $20.
I got it for
Okay.
15, but I think I got the same one. It was like Driver VR or something. I'm not.
Yeah, Driver for VR.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So,
Caillou or KU? KO?
Kaya.
Kaio. All right. So Kaio, what is your setup? Are you using HTC trackers or are you using
Yeah,
what are you
HTC trackers.
Okay,
That's what I'm using.
Do you have 2 of them? Just 2 of them?
3.
You have 3? Oh, damn.
3. Yeah, 1 for the hip and 2 for the feet. Well, 1
Oh,
for
nice.
each foot.
Well, that's
It's.
wow.
I will say, getting the straps for the trackers is a pain because they're
Yeah.
like $50, and that's like too expensive. So
Yeah,
we kind
yeah.
of
No, but you
And
also
it's
want to
like-
have the plus because the normal ones aren't really worth buying.
yeah.
Yeah, talk to me after, because I can print you the mounts for the straps.
Fuck. I should have known this. All right. We'll talk. Okay, I'll talk to you later. All right.
Yeah, talk to me later, man.
Yeah.
I can print them.
Fuck yeah. Don't have to spend $400 on them anymore. Thank God.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Shit.
exactly.
Yeah, no, they've definitely overpriced the straps.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
they
the pri-
really
I think The price
did.
for the trackers is reasonable, but the straps you're getting
The
$30
straps are like
to
$50.
$50.
$50.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's insane for straps, something like
No,
that.
And it's a
Yeah.
piece of Velcro and a piece of plastic to hold the tracker. That's
Yeah. How is that
Yeah,
$50?
It's fairly
It's not like
pointless.
it's not like okay. I get the materials pretty good. Yes, kind of
Yeah.
maybe.
But it's
It
definitely
is.
not worth that.
But it's not like Louis Vuitton good, okay? Like some
Yeah.
shit like that. We're not putting like some Gucci on there or some. No, it's.
Little do you know, Louis Vuitton makes all the straps. No.
I mean, if you really think about it, though,
uh,
and it makes sense, but if you really think about it, anything VR related, whether it's equipment or the software itself, if it's in the VR universe, nothing's perfect.
yeah.
There's always pros and
Yeah.
cons to it. There's really good pros, there's pretty bad cons, but it's really mixed. It really is mixed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it leans on the positive side for me.
All right then. Is that the end of our full body topic?
Yep.
So, recapping being overpriced straps for the trackers. Shit. Not worth it to get it if you're on a CV1.
Or
because
Rift S.
Too much extra on trackers.
Or Rift
You
S.
can even use it for the Rift S.
Yeah, no, you can't pair it on Rift S. It's
Oh,
only
okay.
only the Rift.
Yeah.
CV1.
See, what is Oculus doing? They're moving backwards.
They are
Yeah.
moving back, right?
Yeah, they really
I had
are.
a conversation with Extended. We were bitching and moaning about Oculus and how they're moving in the wrong direction entirely.
They are.
Yeah,
Wow.
they've completely given up trying at this point. They're like the pretty girl, but when she puts on glasses kind of thing, and then it gets terrible. They're moving that way.
Holy shit! You kill.
I'm just
Is that an
saying
attack? Is that an
that's
attack?
how-
Are you okay? Is that an attack on
Is this
someone?
something you gotta tell us here? Like what?
Yeah.
It's just how I perceive the situation.
I mean, if
Okay.
you ever have another podcast about Oculus and their history and how they're moving backwards, please invite me back.
Oh yeah,
I would
you're
love to
definitely
bitch and
coming
moan.
back.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I love bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said though, I'm telling you, I can see it. If Oculus really tried
Mhm.
to make the perfect headset, good controllers, inside-out tracking, making full body work, making full body less of a bargain, it's a top
Yeah.
seller.
Okay.
Think of CV1, but with all of those.
All right.
There would be no cons.
Do you want to
Yeah.
see? Do you want? There's been some patents by PlayStation for full body tracking. So
Really?
PlayStation is doing better than Facebook right now. Get that? They already have
Yeah.
patents for their next VR headset to have full body tracking.
That tops Oculus.
That already tops Oculus
my
just
God.
by.
Tops O-
Yeah.
okay.
They already have a much
No,
larger library.
no, and it's gonna be using the PlayStation 5, presumably, because how are you gonna run that? All right,
Well,
he
okay,
died.
All
so
right,
since
Brett
he's
has
gone-
died, ladies and gentlemen. Brett
Oh,
has
oh,
died.
shit.
Black Hawk
Oh,
down.
All right, let's
my
continue.
God.
We
Call the
still
ambulance.
no, we still have
What
4.
is
We're
that?
good. We're good. We still have 4.
No.
Okay.
But okay, so I mean, if we want to repeat this after he comes back, but so what? Okay, Kaio, right? Kaio.
Kyle.
Kaio. Okay, I'm gonna get this. I promise. Okay, Kaio. You've experienced both the Xbox Connect and the Valve or Vive trackers.
Yeah.
So, what do you?
Yes.
Are they comparable at all, or?
Okay, so there's some pros and cons with both of them.
Mhm.
We're gonna start with the Connect first. The
Alright.
worst thing with it is that you cannot do 360 movement. You cannot turn around.
Yeah.
You You cannot do that.
Okay.
Which is, and the worst thing is, you have to at least be 7 feet away from it to get the best tracking.
Oh.
So if you're in a small room, kind of like I am, then there's no point in getting it.
Yeah.
Hey
But
guys.
Well,
if you're in like the basement, if you're in the basement, then I highly recommend it. If it's like a big space, I highly recommend it. But the
Okay.
worst thing is with it, if your lights are not like LED, then it breaks easily. And when you try to
Okay.
sit down, it just throws you off completely, and you can't even turn your feet at all. They're just
Okay.
sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
And-
reason why I was asking is everyone has a Kinect, whether it's the 360 Kinect or the Xbox One Kinect, because
Yeah.
Microsoft bundled them,
Yeah.
and so those
But
people
no,
that are
but now
listening that are
But now they're selling
Go
them
ahead.
for $200 each. They're not. Well, now if you want to
Right.
buy one just by yourself, it's $200.
okay,
Refurbished.
but
Yeah, refurbished. So it's like,
yeah, but going back to, I mean, let's just say the Xbox 360 Kinect,
Yeah.
because I guarantee you, most of our listeners have an Xbox 360.
pretty
Kinect.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that seem like a option for someone that's beginning to play? And full body tracking, let's be honest, is more usable in VR chat than any other game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so is it a feasible option for someone that's starting
No,
VR
I-
that has it?
I don't think so.
If you're starting out, I recommend not getting the 360, but the Xbox One Connect,
Okay.
because I tried the 360 and it didn't work at all. It was really scuffed.
Okay.
So if you're starting out, I recommend getting the one, the Connect.
Awesome.
I have one problem with it. It gave me a seizure trying to set that thing up. At the end,
It's
No,
difficult.
wait. Not only do you need to have the Kinect, you need to go and buy the adapter for it, which is
Yeah,
another
you have to mod it.
$50.
You have to mod it too.
You have to mod it.
Oh,
Sometimes
okay.
you have to mod it. You don't always have to. I didn't have to. But then
I
you
had
plug
to.
it in, and guess what? For some reason, mine, the tracker should do like 60. The Kinect should do 60. On my computer, it did 0. So, what is wrong? Why is it not? So it's like you go through unplugging it, replugging it, plugging it into the wall, all this stuff. Because of guess what? You need to plug it into the wall. Why? I don't know. You just have to plug it in. It needs to have 10 voltage to work.
Okay.
And there's one issue too. You cannot use the Kinect on HTC
Yeah.
because it'll destroy it. It'll mess
Wow.
with the whole like pairing with your controllers.
Oh, okay. So there is a big con to using the Kinect.
Yeah.
Is basically
Yes.
you could ruin your whole setup
By
just by doing this. So
Yes.
kids
Yeah.
out there, don't do it.
no,
Just go with the freaking
no.
trackers.
Just wait until like the index gets cheaper or a new headset comes out.
Yeah, I was gonna
Buy
say 'cause there
that.
should be a new.
Buy
Yeah.
buy that. Then when the trackers are like $10, I'm just saying a number because they're expensive now. Buy them, and then there you go. You have a old tracker, but at least it works. You're not gonna
And there's
destroy your system
there's-
on that.
and there's new technologies coming out all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, right now
Yeah.
in movies they use tracking suits that use light reflectivity and all that stuff. So I'm sure that will trickle down to the consumer.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, something to add. My game crashed.
Again?
Oh my god!
I'm gonna eat this sushi. Give me a second.
Brett is never coming
Oh.
back.
No,
I'm
this is
trying,
the
I'm
last
trying.
podcast with him.
No.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
was
kidding.
gonna say there is basically a really big con and there's a really big pro. I'm just gonna say like right now, if you're an Oculus user, it's not gonna work. It's just you're not gonna make it work. It can't work. It won't. If you're waiting for Valve or Vive, you can make that work out somehow if you have the right price.
Yeah.
But again, like 3 sensors if you're playing with Oculus. It has
Definitely
360
recommended.
tracking.
Yeah.
It has 360 tracking.
yeah.
Yeah.
3 sensors with Oculus is the big to go. Like you can make that's your closest to full body if you're an Oculus user. That's all I really
Another thing I have to add. even though you see all these YouTubes, oh, you can use the Vive trackers on the Oculus. Do not do it, please, because
Yeah.
they just do so much loopholes that at the end, it's gonna give you more brain damage than the Kinect
Like
will.
it's not even worth it anymore.
It's not even
Probably
worth
not
it.
even the
Really
same
not.
firmware
'Cause
on
you have
the
to buy-
machine anymore.
First, you have to buy the trackers, 2 trackers, because you can't buy one. Then you gotta buy the sensors, which the trackers, which are another 300, depends on where you buy them. You gotta buy the straps. Then you gotta buy like some whatever you need to buy, because I didn't really care, but I really don't, because whatever they're doing,
So-
it's not gonna work.
So what you're saying is, really, when it comes down to it, from having to purchase all of the stuff, you might as well bought the trackers in the first place.
No, you
Yeah,
you would
It would-
buy
it
the
would've been
the
such a
price.
hassle.
The price would have probably went $600, depending if you bought it new or used.
Yeah.
Even used, it would be like $150 for the trackers, both of them.
I gotcha.
So, is it worth it? No.
I think even controller tracking. Yeah, I mean, even beyond full body tracking, controller tracking needs to be improved. With HTC Vive, I don't know if you've experienced the same thing, but if you have a fan in the middle of your room, you have to actually bring your sensors down like a good 2 inches from where you normally would place them.
Yeah.
Just because it sees that fan and it's like, okay, your controller's behind it, but I can't see it.
Another thing,
Yeah.
mirrors. They fucked the tracking so bad. Holy
my
shit.
God.
Holy shit.
Don't even get me started.
No, because
That's
I
'cause
bought
it's
my
using
index. I'm
infrared
like,
light.
okay, I have like a big window mirror. So I'm like, okay, the tracking can't be that bad. I literally have it. I'm like, okay, why is my... So then I finally cover it up, and then no more problems. I'm like, the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
It's because it's using infrared light,
Yeah.
and the same way that you could take your TV remote and point it at a mirror and hit your TV, it's the same exact thing. It's just refracting that light somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
If-
I guess
Albeit-
one last thing we could really cover up that a lot of people are wondering about are the haptic suits.
yeah, that's what I was
oh, yeah.
talking.
I've never owned one. I don't know nothing
Neither
about them, so
have
I
I.
can't really
Can
add
someone
I've
on.
never
speak
owned
up my
one.
invite, please,
They
so I
look,
can come
they
back?
look cool. So I mean, if you're able to get it, then
All right,
you know,
okay.
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna be talking about the oh fuck, I forgot the name.
All right,
give me a
so
second.
It's
figure-
HB Haptics. Just
HB
saying, but-
hack. So, what it is, what happened was, those fucking hell, those like haptic suits from BH Haptics are good. I just say, only get the vest. Only get the vest.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause-
there are a lot
Yeah.
of choices out there. I did some research on suits that are vests and stuff like that that are only to mimic sound. So, say you're playing Pavlov and you got shot, the sound of the bullet hitting you would trigger the vest to vibrate in a certain area.
Yeah, you'll play
Huh.
Beat Saber.
Yeah, but I mean, there
Yeah.
are consumer sides of it, but a lot of haptic suits are only available in like GoFundMe pages. There's not
Yeah.
really a consumer one that's out yet.
Actually, there is BH
There
Haptics.
are, but they are quite expensive. I'm fairly sure they're
BH
running for like, the size of-
Haptics,
They're running for the price of it.
has a vest, arms, legs, face, and I think feet. But I only recommend getting the vest because
Yeah.
the other ones are only
Yeah.
tracks like here, and here. So it's like you only feel it in one part of the body, not the whole arm. But the vest, you
Yeah.
can feel it all here and on the back. So I think, but it comes at a whopping $500.
Yeah, you can get it for
Yeah,
But-
Expensive.
but
for the price of it.
It works in VR chat, works in a lot of fighting games. So if you're going for like a more immersive, I say get trackers and the vest, and you'll probably have the best experience in fighting games like Blade Sorcery. I think they're adding, or I heard that there's a mod for it. So there you might be able to get that working, so you'll feel them stabbing a knife and stuff while you're using full body. So I think that's already probably the best thing for it is Blade Sorcery. They have Thrill of the Fight, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one and Creed are very good
Yeah.
boxing games.
And
So
they're both compatible.
So, I mean, when you're talking about all this, I think the biggest point that you brought up with any sort of system beyond your headset is really the software support. I mean, how many games actually have it programmed into it? If we're talking about haptic suits, there's not a lot.
Yeah,
We're
there's
talking
12.
about tracking, there's not too many.
Yeah.
You know, there's the software development has to match the hardware development. and
The
I think that's
problem
where it's missing.
is 90% of the VR games are indie games, because the only AAA game there is you can consider Half-Life Alyx a thing, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's an indie game for something, you know? It's the least indie game ever. Oh my god!
He's assaulting
The
me.
exorcism! Jeez,
To
you
put it in more simple form,
all right, it's all right.
like if we're talking about the only thing about VR that I really have a problem with is the software being limited.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
It's a very big
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you.
Especially for Oculus. And
Extended
I hate
folks.
to throw Oculus like down the bus there, but like Oculus, it's limited. Like the software isn't perfect.
I mean,
And-
and the fact that you
Right.
can go on the Vive and use Revive to get Oculus games, like, it's there's so much
Right.
that the Vive
Yeah.
has because it's not. The Vive isn't really. What would you say? It's not
Good.
like software locked. You can go on Steam, you can get your software. You can go on Vive Port, you can get your software. You can use Revive to get Oculus games. They have it all.
Yeah, that was one of the only upsides of really getting an Oculus was its exclusives, its exclusive games. But now with Revive and other apps like it, it completely negates the whole point of getting an Oculus.
Yeah.
They-
Unless-
except for price and not
Unless
even
you
durability.
buy the Oculus at the beginning, you're not gonna buy an Oculus. If you have
Yeah.
a powerful enough computer to get a Vive or a Index, why would you want to go for the cheaper version if you can spend enough for the more expensive version of it? Is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Right. But then again, like if you're saving up, like again, CV1 is probably like one of your most precise choices. Or if you're going for Quest, if you don't have the setup, that's also
Yeah.
one you should go for.
Also,
Yep.
talking about the Quest, because that's pretty much a whole thing by itself,
Yeah.
is modifications. You need to have modifications. If not,
Yeah.
you will not enjoy your time.
That was-
Yeah.
I made a list of like what I wanted for Christmas, and I realized that it had gotten up to like $600 with all the modifications that I wanted for the Quest.
Yeah.
Because there would have been so many problems with it if you didn't get all these different things for it.
I'll literally give you two. You need a deluxe head strap because those headphones aren't good or whatever they have. I don't even
The deluxe audio strap because of
Yeah.
mainly weight difference.
weight difference. You also want to have a VR cover because that one is horrible. You also want to have like a what else did you like a better like
Hand grips and stuff.
yeah, you have to have so much stuff. I can't even get into it because I didn't really research, but
Yeah.
there's so much stuff you need to get for it. It's not worth it. You're gonna spend like $300 just on upgrades just to make it feel good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. You're not
Yeah.
using that thing for over like 20 minutes without being very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It completely negates the use for a Quest when you could have gotten a Valve Index for the price that you spent on all the mods for that damn Quest.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it at that point.
But
That was one
if
of the
you
big mistakes.
But if you're trying to dip your feet, just buy a deluxe audio strap and a VR cover and you'll be fine. If you're going for a little
Yeah.
bit more pro, buy like covers and just things to make it tweak it a little bit just to make it better, but you need to have modifications.
Right.
Now, the last thing that I have to say about haptic suits, going
Alright.
back to that,
Yeah.
because we all
Yeah.
love it. So with haptic suits, do you guys think that there is ever going to be a bundle of an Oculus or a Vive or a Valve with a haptic suit?
No.
That is
You think they're gonna
definitely
bundle it?
That's
With-
definitely a viable option. for
Probably
them
in
to
the
do.
It
near
is a viable
future.
option.
In the
Yeah,
near future,
I would-
okay.
I don't.
think so.
The thing is, the near future. How far are we talking? Because haptic
Well,
suit.
whenever the next
Probably-
headset comes out, whenever haptics become a viable price option,
Yeah.
if it's
Probably
if they're now
maybe
the
in the
price of
next
100,
few months or so.
No,
Yeah,
I
next few
highly,
months.
I highly
Hmm.
doubt that.
I would think a little later. Just
I would
give
think
it-
a little later.
Maybe,
I give it
yeah.
5 years.
I think.
yeah,
Well,
maybe-
for it to
maybe a
be.
little less. But
Well, no, 5
Yeah.
years if you want the perfection of it. I think
Yeah.
for like
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
full blown suit, head, everything, 5 years.
the
I say,
price is going to be high. That's the problem. Is
Yeah.
the price
but that's when
the
it's coming
difference
out.
between haptics and the actual headset. It would.
I think it's gonna be-
might not be worth
I
it.
think it's gonna be 2 years, so we can have like at least a little bit more haptics, just like a little bit more like hand haptics. I think it's gonna be 2 years, cause they already
Yeah.
made it. It's just $1,200 to
yeah,
buy
it's
it.
just a price difference.
I just wanted to see how close you guys think we are to making, let's say, the Oasis and Ready Player One. Like that's
Yeah.
where I want to get in VR.
Everyone,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
question everyone
Yeah.
wants the answer of.
Yeah,
I think we're fairly close if you're willing to spend that much money on getting an index and then like the super nice haptic suit.
Sure.
You're basically there. Like it's
And
you're
with
just gonna
trackers
keep paying
anyway.
for after that.
and trackers.
To place down a nice verdict, I'm guessing that a lot of our listeners or viewers are just, simply wondering what's the best to get for my maximum experience.
Mhm.
And I would have to say, if you're willing to spend, let's say, like $600, $700, maybe $800 at most, then you have a somewhat acceptable experience. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yeah.
If you're able to spend $200 on CV1 for
Or
beginners,
or if
and another
or if
50
they
on another third sensor,
let me talk about one thing. Windows mixed reality. I just
No.
want to talk
No.
2 seconds
That's
with
not-
that.
that's
Major
limited.
no. On that
I just want
one.
to talk
Let's
2
not save
seconds
that
about
for
that.
Another.
All right, okay.
yeah,
Alright.
Yeah.
The
that's
problems
not
with
Reality is a
mixed
completely
reality.
different thing,
Yeah.
and
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Windows Mixed isn't the one to go. Like if we're
Yeah.
talking maximum experience, if you genuinely want to have like the best time in VR, I'm saying
On a limited-
600,
on a
700
budget.
at most.
On a budget.
On a budget.
Now this is saying that we're just talking about the hardware. We're not talking about the computer itself because that's a whole
Yeah,
different
yeah.
beast. that
Yeah.
we'll probably
If
get
Yeah.
to
you're
in
trying to
another
get into VR,
episode.
you better
We'll
have
we'll do that in
Well, I
we'll
was
do
actually,
that
I was
another
actually
podcast.
including the hardware
Oh
because you could
Including the
actually you could
hardware,
play
yeah.
a CV1 on a laptop. Rift F
Yeah.
you can't.
yeah.
Oh wow!
that's-
So you're saying like a $200 laptop and a
Well,
CV1?
No, I
yeah.
think of
That
yeah.
is not true,
Wow.
actually. I think you can.
No, if it's strong enough for VR, it can. I've
Yeah,
done it. I've
but a lot
played.
of laptops aren't.
Yeah, I played VR on a laptop for a year straight, and it
Um,
wasn't
How
great.
did you survive? Jesus.
I did it.
Um,
I used the CV1 on a computer for like a year and a half.
but I'm sure.
Almost two.
I'm sure if the viewers are thinking like, okay, what's the best computer? We'll probably have, or you guys will probably have an episode on that at some point.
Yeah, I'll,
Yeah.
That's what's a good build for a VR
Yeah.
version. Yeah.
just get minimum specs. It's not that
Yeah.
bad. Unless
What's
you're
the next topic?
so the next
But is,
topic. What do you got?
is that all we-
Unusual.
Shoot.
Let me look at my computer.
I almost left the room just because I'm so excited about this next topic. Okay.
All right, so we did VR and its growth. Is it worth buying? New games we haven't
Oh
done.
yes, new games.
Headsets that are coming out. Reasons the Quest is good or bad. Full body tracking and haptic suits. So it's basically new games, unless you guys have any other ideas,
New games
One word.
and
New games.
One word.
or like what games to get.
One word.
What's that?
Alex.
yeah,
Alex.
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
It is
the newest game.
It's really,
Play it.
it's really not worth it. I don't think if you don't have an index.
Oh, I 100%
Yeah.
think it's worth it.
Uh-huh.
I
Really?
100% think
Index
it's
or
worth it.
not, it's so good. Cause I
Okay.
tried it with my Oculus CV1 and it still meets the expectation. Still is amazing.
Well, this is my argument, okay? Like, if we're talking just like games in general, not with like the hardware involved or the software, like Half-Life Alyx and Boneworks, those two games
Yes.
Yeah.
are my favorite for VR. Here is why.
Yeah.
It is simple because there's no other game like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There is no game
Yeah.
like Alex. There is like those games give you so much freedom. It is incredible. I can't even over exaggerate. Alex did a really great job. Boneworks is like right next to Alex. And I mean, if we're just talking like a good time with your friends for VR, which I'm sure a good majority of you would like that, Pavlov and VR chat.
Yeah, definitely.
It's those are like the two big ones.
Yeah, those are some of the starter games. I would probably recommend Blade and Sorcery as well as games
Blade and
getting
Sorcery.
into VR. Blade and Sorcery, Pavlov, and
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
But
and
that-
VR were the first games I ever got.
All right, another
mean,
game
I
that I
would
think is
say-
a little underrated, but it's still good. Super Hot VR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
think
just didn't
that's
want to
super,
spend the money because I already had Super Hot normally on my computer, so I just didn't
and
bother.
Super Hot
I've
VR
never
is
had
one of those.
it on VR.
Yeah, but Super Hot VR is one of those games that you can put the VR headset on your grandpa and say, "Hey, play Super Hot," and they won't get the nausea and the
Yeah.
It's a very basic game, and it's
Shoot the
very
red guy.
nicely played.
That's it.
It's a good introduction to VR.
Hmm.
And they can
Whereas
go at your
Boneworks or Alex, I mean, I don't know about you. I'm a seasoned VR person. I have over 300 hours on
Yeah.
Pavlov and everything. Boneworks made me sick when I first played it, and then I
Really?
got used to it, and it was a great game.
All right.
So nothing against Boneworks, but I did get a little bit
Well,
of VR
See, that's the
sickness.
thing about Boneworks. Boneworks, I feel, is more for the fan of heart and more like for the people that like understand how VR works, and they get like the casual movement, they get like the feeling to it. I feel like if you're definitely like a first time VR person, and the first thing you want to do is dip straight into Boneworks,
no,
it's not gonna work
No.
out.
It's yeah.
You'd have
Never.
to play.
never
have to get used
never
to
go
how
into
VR
Alex straight away. Never go into Boneworks straight away. Go to a game like Super Hot. Job Simulator is a very
Yeah.
go at your own
Gotcha.
pace.
Started off intermediate there.
Go at your own
Yeah,
pace
that's
because
straight
if you go straight in, you will fuck yourself big time. You will
Yeah,
think
that's
Definitely.
a big killer.
Like-
A
If
lot
you
of
really
people-
want to shock your parents, do Accounting Plus and throw it on their head.
yeah.
You
Beat
know,
Saber
F-bomb
is
that
another
comes out there like,
is another game, but just don't go on
Yeah.
Expert Plus. Expert hard. I recommend doing it as your third game. If you're gonna try, go medium. If you can't beat medium, go easy until you beat easy on full combo. Then you can probably go normal. Or
I
if
mean,
you,
the first time for me, I really just started from easy and I went all the way up until I was good at it.
I kind of just clicked hard because I saw other YouTubers go hard. I'm
Went
like I can
straight
do
to
this.
hard.
I went straight
I
to
went straight to expert, and I actually didn't know you had to slice where the arrows were going. I was just hitting
Yeah,
shit.
I
I was like,
didn't
wait,
know
why am I
either.
missing?
I was like, why did I fail? I'm hitting the boxes.
I still suck at Beat Saber, but
Yeah,
it's a
I'm
good
so
workout.
terrible, but it's very fun.
no. It's
It
A-
really is fun.
a game to
used to it.
pass the time. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that's another one where your friends come over and it's a party game. One person throws it on. Now I will say, okay, so if I'm rating mine, it's going to be Pavlov is my favorite because it's just a simple game. Everyone's
Classic.
on there.
It's a
First person
classic.
shooter. Everyone can understand it, and people are usually. Okay, don't quote me on this. People are usually helpful if you're brand new in the
Yes,
game. Like
yeah.
there's
Oh,
usually a
definitely.
person there that'll help you reload the guns. But
Yeah.
once you get into it, it's really
Yeah.
like there's a lot of toxicity.
The
but
one
it's fun.
the one game
Um,
I do not recommend, and it might be a surprise. Rec Room. No. Yes, play it
Mm-mm.
if you have a PlayStation VR.
Mm-mm.
But it's probably if you like 5-year-olds to play, go for it
Yeah, give 'em
because
that credit.
it's such. Sadly, I'm making a video on it because it was fucking funny, but
I'll say this, and it's true. You can't say I'm incorrect. Rec Room is like a VR chat for kids.
yes,
Yes.
That's
Yes,
it's
it really is.
watered
It
down
really
VR.
is.
because it
Well-
it just like avatars. There's none. You can
Mm-hmm.
like the customization is like freaking Club Penguin customization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Club Rec Room. So I think you have a good point there, especially since we're talking about games now. What sort of what can you do to enhance your experience within the games? And I think the biggest thing is make friends online. Make the VR friends. And I'm not talking
Oh,
about like
definitely.
if you're underage, don't talk to strangers online. I'm saying if you're 18 or over, don't be afraid to talk to someone online. Don't be afraid to join their Discord. I mean, I met all these people just because of Discord and just because I talked to Extended. That was it.
Yeah.
That is kind of that is one person can
And-
make a
and, like,
difference.
And don't get me wrong, like if we're talking like if you're a preteen or a teen, you know, like you'll get it. You'll understand, but like it's just like, you know, go straight to VR chat.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like that's a
definitely.
really good start.
Yeah.
It's a very good way
And
to make friends. Yeah.
It is it's a
You'll
like
meet a
it's a
lot of
good,
people. You have a lot of laughs. There's
a lot of people
very-
say it's a good social game. It's just a fun
It
game
is.
in general. It's good all the way around. I
Okay.
recommend it.
The one problem about VR chat is make sure to have your safety somewhat in
Off.
order. No, we're not. No,
Turn it off. Turn it off.
No, we're not.
Turn it off.
I'm
Someone's
not.
trying to crash,
I'm not trying to
'cause-
get. I'm not trying to get a lawsuit here. Okay.
Right, I'm actually
You
gonna
told
check
me to
this.
put it on off. No,
You
dude.
guys- It's literally off right now.
But seriously, like if you're talking about people in game, you want to make sure that I mean if you have a squeaky voice or anything like that, you're going to get called out for it. Don't let
Oh,
it
100%.
hurt you.
That's just
Don't let
reality.
it hurt
Like-
you, man. But I mean, so if I'm talking about games, there is actually a game that you guys may not have heard of. It's called The Room.
Yeah,
Oh,
I heard it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
A really good puzzle game, and I think that's my
Very.
favorite brand new game.
Yeah. I've been playing that recently.
Yeah, I mean, they went from mobile apps to VR, and it's absolutely insane
Yeah.
that they were able to do that.
Another game
Yeah.
that disappointed me so much, is Aspire 1 VR Operative. It really did. They hyped
that
it.
looked like a very good game.
It
I was
looked
thinking
so good, but as soon as you get in the game, it feels like, yeah, they did an update. I haven't played it because I'm like, I waited.
completely sick of it.
I waited from like they kind of released the announcement of the release in like June, July of 2019 for August. They didn't say, so then we get to August, they say, oh sorry, we have to go September. All right, that's fine. September 25th, the day before the release, September 24th, they delayed the game for another 3 months until December 20th. Or around there.
It does make sense. It does make sense because they thought the game wasn't complete. If I don't know if any of you here play The Isle, they delayed one of their updates for several months now. Update was called Hope. It was a complete recode of the game, and they said it would be done Valentine's Day. 4 months later, no. 3 months later, no. Still, and
Yeah.
they're supposedly going to release it now, but.
No, but
they're
the biggest
just-
problem I had about it is the game was what they started the game. They started making the game in 2017, so it's like
Yeah,
they had
very long time.
so much time. They gave it to YouTubers in 2018 to like the virtual reality oasis. I forgot the name of the YouTuber. They gave it to him. They gave it. So why would you have to wait another like almost 2 years until it's
Yeah.
perfect, and then when you give the game, it's pretty much incomplete? Don't even announce it if you know it's not complete.
Now Kai looks like she has something. She was there, man. I saw you like 5 minutes ago. You had your hand raised, so I'm trying to help you out.
Mr. Teacher.
That's the
Kai, what's your favorite game?
My favorite game
Yes.
so far, it's probably VR chat since it's like literally mostly the only VR game I play besides Pavlov. But my second favorite game, Pavlov.
Nice.
Yeah.
Respectable.
It's
I get
basically
that.
basically all the multiplayer. There are games for VR, but but at the end of the day, you're always gonna go back to like 3 different games. It's gonna be VR chat, Pavlov, and what else is another game that
Blade and Sorcery.
Blade and Sword. I mean
Or that.
multiplayer.
I mean, well,
Well,
I
technically,
would-
you can
Gamer
do
has
it.
a
If you
semi
and I would-
multiplayer
Yeah.
mods.
and I actually would make the argument that Blade and Sorcery is a valid choice for
Yeah.
a third choice because
Oh, definitely.
when you're looking at games, you want to look at games that have a lot of new playable things. And Blade and
And
Sorcery, you can mod the crap out of it and
Oh,
kill
there's thousands.
Oh, no.
younglings and
And guess
Jedi.
what? They're finally doing an update.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got UA coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June 14th, June 4th.
Yeah.
June 4th.
So I'm so
really
excited for
excited.
that. There's probably gonna be a video on that. Maybe I'm not sure. But
Yeah, probably, to be honest.
But I mean, if your listeners don't know what Pavlov is, I mean, if you've gone this far without knowing what Pavlov
Counter
is,
Strike in
that's
VR.
crazy. I would
Check
actually
out
say
my
Gary's
channel, my
mod.
first video.
Gary's
It
mod
is.
in VR.
It's
but-
closer to a Gmod than it is a Counter.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
have to say myself.
That is
It's
true.
just-
But let's be fair, Gmod is Counter Strike just remapped.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So it's
Yeah.
basically same shit.
And
Just in
its
VR.
way, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very fun, and there's so many different things you can do. with
Now
the game.
combined
Different
in
maps.
VR.
Yeah, in VR, so much better, so much better.
Yeah.
That's why like VR Chat and Pavlov are like well known together because those are the only VR games I can really name at the top of my head before like Boneworks. Where you
Yeah.
can really just do whatever you want.
Well,
It's
it's
like-
really.
Well, it's the only.
It really has to do with the YouTubers and how famous these games are because
Yeah.
of how hilariousness comes in those games.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, I want to say something. There's also what other multiplayer VR games are there that isn't.
mean-
I'm kind of leaving Onward on the side because Onward is. I don't know. I haven't played the game, but I don't. I think.
Don't get Onward. It's just
Yeah, it's just.
It can be fun. It just depends on how you're doing it. It's a bit too serious. If you're playing online, it's just too serious. You got to play it with friends and goof around.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You can't be playing with strangers because it's just not fun at that point.
And you're right.
You're just getting shit
What other multiplayer games are readily available for one? I mean, you can get Pavlov and all that easily, and also are still being played by a large community.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
or just a cheat, or just like not a supported VR game because those aren't
Yeah.
really VR games. Those are just let's
Yeah.
just slap on these controls and bam, 360
Yeah.
style. No, we're not
That
doing
was, well, like when we recorded, We Were Here, VR supported.
that. Was
Not
horrible.
very good.
No,
Very terrible game.
and it was,
think it was
so,
fine,
it was, but a game that actually I recommend for multiplayer if you guys are willing to spend the money on DLCs is Tales of Escape. It's such a good
Yeah.
VR game.
No,
That
I
is
played it.
I'm
Yeah.
actually good. We're thinking of making a video on the newest update. The
Well, they
newest
give
DLC.
you Tales of Escape is really great if you're Tales of Escape is an escape room in VR, and if you're going to play a game with a group of friends that everyone can get and it's free,
And
the
it's also-
for the first one.
It's
for the
also-
first, room.
Yeah, but also you can, if your friend doesn't have VR, they can use a computer.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I mean, it's
it's
but
pretty
it's
much
a
a
great
win-win.
game.
Yeah, it's a great.
fantastic game.
Yeah,
I played the Mine one, and the Mine one was great.
yeah,
But
that's the free
so-
DLC.
I want to bring up one more game that no one's brought up yet. I think I did take my headset off for a second, but Township Tales.
That is true. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot.
it was good. It's
Yeah.
it's really sad. It was
good.
such a good game.
Yeah,
But it dug its
And-
own grave, and
Yep. And
Yeah.
they jumped right in it. It's really sad. I had hope in the game. It had a very nice community.
Okay, about that. If you go into the American servers, holy shit, the toxicity is fucking real.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it is.
I had to go to Europe because at least they taught me
We
how to
played in
play.
EU. We
E-
played in
oh,
EU.
yeah. Oh.
We all did.
Oh, we did. Okay, whoops.
We all played in EU, which is Europe.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm
And
not going
so
great.
there were a bunch of people. I would love the feeling of knowing someone from that community and logging into EU one day, running into that person again, and be like, "Hey, I remember you," and we would add each other. It was just such an open
Yeah.
game, and I would add it to my list of games where I could do whatever I want.
And then they
but
kind of
they-
fucked it. They kind of
they're
just,
just-
did nothing.
They're making this game way more public than it should, and
Yeah.
they're just they got rid of so many good things, and it sucks. It really sucks.
Also, another thing.
Like Fortnite. What?
Uh,
Fortnite?
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah,
Oh god.
It
Oh
was
god.
good, and then they updated it, and now it's crap.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Bring back season 1. Okay, there we go. Well, I'm done.
Season
We're
one.
done here. We're
Bring
done
back-
here.
do
We're
it.
done with that conversation. Cut it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the first episode of the VR Squad podcast. This has been Julie Hooks. I'm Unusual, your grandpa, Kaiomi, and Extended Reality, signing off.